This video has been released by Ryan Meuleman and his family.
On the day of the crash, it was a shock, above all. And no parent expects any of this sort of thing to happen. It really hits home just how fragile life can be. The public support since the revelations about more of the circumstances of the crash and where the impact was on the car, it's opened up a lot of people's eyes and realised that there was a cover-up that decade ago. Ryan was a really sporty kid, a very active kid, and the accident knocked the confidence out of him to a point where he didn't really think that he could do the activities that he could do previously. And I think he went into his shell, and ultimately that turned him down the darker path of drug addiction. It's been over a decade since the accident. Ryan hasn't recovered. He's still trauma affected. He should have been a young teenager growing into a young adult, forging a life with a job, career, trade, and all of that has been swept aside from him. To have nearly lost your son in an accident, and then to have the other party publicly blame that victim in order to try and clean sheet their own persona. I think he missed an opportunity to do the right thing, to conduct himself with integrity at a scene of crisis. He could have been the hero of the situation and said, "Oh, look, got involved in a terrible accident, but I rendered assistance," and everybody, if he'd done that and said that to the public of Victoria, people would have gone, "What a stand-up guy he was." But he didn't do that. He cowered from the scene. He ran from the scene. I believe he left his wife, Kath, who gave her maiden name to cover up also. He left her at the scene to attend, and he fled the scene and also took the car away from the crash scene, which my understanding is that's illegal as well. It was really hard to think that here's the people's elected premier, put into the most powerful position in the state, and yet he can't conduct himself with honesty and integrity. We're fighting for him, and we're trying our best to bring the truth out of the circumstances to enable Ryan to have some closure on that incident and enable him to get the rest of his life back and to try and put this decade worth of trauma behind him. Take the politics out of it. In any kind of incident, you just want those two parties to be able to put their hand up and say, "Look, this was the circumstances of it." It's not about blame appropriation. It's just about both parties being responsible, both of them being truthful and honest. I have heard the term political waste used in this case towards my son, and that's incredible that they would put a young man's life, a boy's life, and just dispose of that and put it under the term of political waste in order to advance your own political career or protect your own political career. I'm so humbled by the amount of support. I thought we were just that dad and son from down in Bleagarry who got battered down by the system, and we were just going to have to wear that for the rest of our lives. If I look deep, real deep, I can still see that there's a good kid in there, but the damage that's been done to him over the course of the last decade, I'm concerned. I question at times whether there's really a road back from that amount of damage. I think it's probably traumatized him and it'll affect him for the rest of his life. But here we are now with a lot of voices gathering around us, giving us vindication, and so that strengthens us, and hopefully it'll be enough to get it to a court of justice so that justice can prevail and we can put closure on it. The truth comes out and Ryan can get on with his life.
Throughout his time as Premier, Daniel Andrews and his wife Catherine were never held accountable for the crash. Surely, it's time. Follow the story and share on your socials.